Marvelous idea.
Ja, zwei Tunes. Das erste ist ein modernes Stück, das heißt Mit Respekt und ist den alten Musikern gewidmet, die ja schon lange tot sind, aber die irische Musik und die irische Tradition bis in die Gegenwart bringen konnten. Und das zweite Stück ist ein Stück, das von einem dieser noch nicht ganz so alten, aber doch schon zur alten Generation zählenden Musikern gehört, ein Flötist, Christy Berry. Also zwei Jigs jetzt zu dieser Szene am Friedhof auf dem Weg zum Friedhof.
1904. Und viele Leute haben gedacht, vielleicht können wir das machen. Vielleicht wir können uns trennen von dieser, keiner Brexit, eine Ear-Exit. Brexit. Oh nein, das aber ich habe gedacht, es ist Zeit, dass wir uns selber was organisieren können. Und Arthur Griffith und seine Freunde haben eine neue Group organisiert. Und das Group heißt Sinn Féin. Sinn Féin. Okay, 2017 nach vorne, oh ja, die sind immer noch da und die macht was immer noch in Irland, aber damals 1904, das war nicht so einfach. Aber Mulligan says to me, Sinn Féin, I say, I'm more interested in May Féin. Ich sage, Sinn Féin ist uns alle zusammen, May Féin ist ich allein. So, we were just wondering if Joyce and his women.
Am 10. Juni 1904 begegnete James Joyce Nora Barnacle, einem einfachen Mädchen aus Galway. Sie arbeitete als Kammermädchen im Finn's Hotel in Dublin. Sie hatte ihre Heimatstadt verlassen, nachdem sie nach einem harmlosen Streich von ihrem Onkel verprügelt wurde. Noras erste Verabredung mit Joyce war am 16. Juni 1904, Bloomsday.
Mrs. Joyce.
Yes? Who's there?
Mrs. Joyce, I didn't mean to startle you.
Now, if you're from the tax office, my son Giorgio will be back very shortly.
No, Mrs. Joyce, I just wanted to ask you a few questions.
Oh, for an interview about Jim.
No, you.
About me? Sure, there's nothing to know about me. Giorgio never mentioned anything about an interview. Oh, the arthritis, you know, 'tis all in the knees this morning, stiff as two pokers. Like Protestant legs they are, straight up and down, no curves and no nonsense. Would you like a cup of tea? I was just clearing out some of these old papers and photographs and letters, and the place is a terrible mess. Did you say you'd have tea?
No tea, thank you, Mrs. Joyce.
Tiptoes, yeah? So, I just made it fresh. I was just in the middle of writing a letter to Porrick and Molly Callum. They saw my grandson recently in New York. Oh, he's such a fine lad and handsome. He'll break some hearts, I'm telling you, when he's older, if he hasn't done so already. He's 19 now. That's the age I was when I met Jim. That was in, what?
1904.
So, what? What a long time.
47 years.
Indeed, who'd believe that now? Of course, my name was Nora Barnacle then, fresh up to Dublin from the city of Galway in the west of Ireland. 18 years old and green as cabbage I was. Oh, faith, I was wild in those days. You know, when I lived at my grandmother's house in Galway, me and my old pal Mary O'Halloran used to play some fine tricks. Do you see, my Uncle Tommy Healy was very strict and I was forbidden to go out strolling in the evenings. So I had the idea to dress up as men, and me and Mary, we stuck our hair up under our caps and we painted moustaches on our faces with charcoal, and we stood outside the post office whistling at all the girls. It was all harmless fun. But my Uncle Tommy found out about it though. Faith, that man could hear the grass grow. He took a stick to me that night. I know I shouldn't speak ill of the dead, but somehow I don't think I ever forgave him for the beating he gave me. I ran away the very next day. Oh, bedad I did. I ran away to Dublin and I got a job. For I never wanted to set eyes on him again. But I was very lucky, do you see. I got a job as a chambermaid in Finn's Hotel, and I had every second evening free, and I could go where I liked. 'Twas in Dublin I met Jim. I met him walking along Nassau Street one fine June day. Sure, I didn't know then that he was a poet with his yachting cap and his blue eyes. I took him for a Swedish sailor. Oh, you may laugh, but you've no idea what it was like to be thrown into the life of that man. Anyhow, nothing would satisfy him until I agreed to make an appointment with him. But I got cold feet at the last moment, and I didn't turn up. Oh, he was very disappointed. He wrote me this note about it. I may be blind. I looked for a long time at a head of reddish brown hair, and I decided it was not yours. I went home quite dejected. I would like to make an appointment, but it might not suit you. I hope you will be kind enough to make one with me, if you've not forgotten me. James A. Joyce. And do you know, I felt so sorry for him, I made another appointment.
June the 16th, 1904.
June 16th, was it? I can't remember. 'Tis nigh on 50 years ago, you know.
Mrs. Joyce, don't you know that that's the date your husband chose as a setting for his book Ulysses?
Oh, aye, Bloomsday they call it.
And he chose it as a tribute to meeting you.
Is that a fact? Well, devil take him. But Jim was always attributing importance to all sorts of things. People he'd meet in the street, articles out of the newspaper, words out of a song. Sure, man alive, he had the gathering instincts of a magpie. But you know, it could be true what you say. For he told me years later that it was on that day, when he first went walking out, that I made a man of him. Man, sure he was only a boy. There he was, 22 years old, with a great education at the finest schools. Do you know he'd even been to Paris to try to study medicine, and he'd had articles published in the newspaper. But he was very restless and unhappy at home. His family was never the same after his mother's death, and his father, Lord rest him, who'd drink Loch Erin dry, so that the children were often hungry in the house, I can tell you. You know, the father would often refuse them the money for the housekeeping, and he'd stand at the top of the stairs and he'd shout, "I'll break your bloody hearts." Oh, now Jim loved his father deeply, but he had no illusions about him. None. Poor Jim. His so-called friends were often cruel to him. Vincent Cosgrave, who was always trying to get me to go out with him, pretended to be a great friend to Jim. Behind Jim's back, Cosgrave told me that Jim would never stick with me, working as a maid in a hotel and all. Sure, I was the one that did the sticking, Jim would say, because my name was Barnacle.